Travel days can be stressful, but for one unsuspecting woman, a routine flight would turn into an unforgettable lesson in humility and respect. When Olivia Carter refused to let a man she deemed unworthy board first class, she had no idea who she was dealing with. Her assumptions would soon come crashing down, leaving her with an experience she would never forget. Elijah Brooks, a towering figure known for his impressive career in professional sports, was used as standing out in a crowd. However, today, he was just another traveler trying to make his way through a busy airport. Dressed in a simple hoodie with a hood pulled low over his face and a cap concealing his identity, Elijah enjoyed this rare opportunity to move unnoticed. He wasn't looking for attention. He simply wanted a peaceful journey. Elijah's destination was one close to his heart. He was on his way to visit a charity he had been supporting for years. The foundation provided scholarships and community resources to underprivileged children, a cause he was deeply passionate about. His goal was to continue giving back and inspiring the next generation, something he considered even more important than his successful career. The airport buzzed with activity as travelers hurried from one gate to another, each person focused on their own journey. Elijah stood in the first-class boarding line, his ticket in hand, patiently waiting for his turn. The occasional traveler glanced his way, but for the most part, he was left alone, just another passenger in the sea of people. Little did he know, his quiet trip was about to take a dramatic turn. As Elijah casually scanned the crowd, a woman approaching him caught his attention. Her stride was brisk, her expression tense. Olivia Carter, a woman accustomed to getting what she wanted, was in no mood for delays. With sharp features and an air of entitlement, she exuded the confidence of someone who believed the world revolved around her. Olivia had already endured a frustrating flight delay, and her patience was wearing thin. When she spotted Elijah in the first-class line, her irritation turned to disbelief. There was no way she thought that this man belonged in first class. Without hesitation, she marched up to him, inserting herself directly in front of him. "Excuse me," she said curtly, her tone laced with condescension. She didn't even look at him directly as she gestured toward another part of the terminal. "You're in the wrong line. The economy boarding is that way." Elijah, taken aback but always composed, met her gaze calmly. "No, ma'am. I'm in the right line," he responded. "I have a first-class ticket, just like you." His voice was steady, his demeanor polite, but Olivia was not interested in explanations. Her brows furrowed in disbelief. "There's no way you're supposed to be here," she scoffed. "People like you don't belong in first class." Her words hung heavy in the air, her meaning painfully clear. It was not about seating arrangements or flight rules. It was about the prejudices she carried with her. Elijah let out a quiet sigh. He had experienced moments like this before, but that didn't make them any easier to deal with. Choosing patience over confrontation, he calmly said, "Please, let's not make this an issue. I just want to get to my destination like everyone else." But Olivia wasn't backing down. Her voice grew sharper, louder. "If you don't move right now, I'll call security," she snapped. "This is first class, and I won't let anyone cut the line, especially not someone like you." The bystanders around them began to take notice. Some exchanged glances, some whispered, but no one stepped forward. The tension in the air thickened as Elijah realized this would not resolve itself quietly. Frustrated by Elijah's refusal to move, Olivia escalated the situation. She waved down a security officer, her face twisted with outrage. "This man is trying to sneak into first class," she exclaimed, pointing at Elijah, as if he were a criminal. "He doesn't belong here, and he's causing a disruption." The security officer, caught in the middle of the commotion, approached cautiously. He glanced between the two before addressing Elijah. "Sir, may I see your ticket?" Without hesitation, Elijah reached into his pocket, pulled out his first-class ticket, and handed it to the officer. His expression remained calm, his movements unhurried. "Here it is," he said simply. The officer examined the ticket, then turned back to Olivia. His voice was firm. "Ma'am, this is a valid first-class ticket. He has every right to be here." Olivia's mouth opened and closed as she tried to process what she had just heard. That, that can't be right, she stammered. Are you sure? Elijah had reached his limit. Slowly, he pulled down his hood, revealing his unmistakable face to the crowd. Gasps rippled through the bystanders as they recognized who he was. I tried to be reasonable, he said, his voice even but firm. But you wouldn't let it go. Do you know who I am? He took a deliberate step closer. My name is Elijah Brooks. Olivia's arrogance evaporated in an instant. Her eyes widened in shock, her face turned crimson. She had just accused one of the most well-known athletes in the country of not belonging in first class. Elijah turned to the surrounding crowd. The problem with people like you, he said, looking back at Olivia, is that you think you can judge someone just by looking at them. But you never know who you're really dealing with. And now, everyone sees how wrong you were. Olivia tried to say something, but no words came. Her humiliation was complete, and the weight of the moment settled over her. Elijah turned back to the security officer, keeping his composure. I think it would be best if she is escorted out of the line, he said. I doubt the airline wants passengers causing a scene like this. The officer nodded, motioning for Olivia to follow him. With her head lowered, her confidence shattered, she walked away in silence. Soft murmurs and scattered chuckles followed her as she disappeared into the crowd. As the tension dissipated, the passengers around Elijah began to clap. A few offered words of support, others patted him on the back. The woman standing behind him leaned forward and whispered, "Thank you for standing up to her. Not everyone would have handled it as gracefully as you did." Elijah gave her a small, knowing smile. Sometimes you just have to stay calm, he replied. But there's a limit to how much disrespect anyone should take. As he finally boarded the plane, settling into his first-class seat, he let out a deep breath. The journey ahead was still important. His charity work, his mission to uplift those who needed help. And maybe, just maybe, by standing up to people like Olivia, he was helping to change the world in more ways than one. This story serves as a powerful reminder that prejudice often comes from ignorance and baseless assumptions. Elijah Brooks showed incredible patience in the face of blatant disrespect, choosing to respond with dignity rather than anger. His actions teach us the importance of standing up against discrimination, not with violence, but with strength and composure. Respect and equality should never be negotiable. If this story resonated with you, leave a comment below and share your thoughts. And don't forget to subscribe for more inspiring stories that remind us all of the power of kindness, resilience, and standing up for what is right.